Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Thursday, December 23rd, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States, 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Hamilton, and 10:30 in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. This will be our last broadcast of the year. We will not be broadcasting again until Monday, January 3rd. Tomorrow is a holiday in the United States. Next week, the CATEX office will be open both in London and in the United States. However, we will not be broadcasting that week, and we will return on Monday, January 3rd. We'll post that information on our website. Today's birthday, the Emperor Akihito in Japan is 77 today. We have some stories that came in. There was a major earthquake about 660 miles southeast of Tokyo this morning, a 7.4 earthquake. There's been a number of aftershocks. A tsunami warning was posted. Nothing's arrived yet in Japan. The earthquake is probably about 200 miles northeast of the island of Iwo Jima. That's a pretty big quake. Also, yesterday, Skype, the internet telephone and video service, went down. Part of it remains down right now. And we had personal experience with that here. We were in the middle of a Skype conference with clients overseas, and the service went dead. We thought it was a problem with our equipment and not with Skype. Also, some consumer news. The American Consumer Index, as measured by the University of Michigan, unexpectedly increased up to 74%. The sale of new homes increased 5.5%. Unemployment dipped, and doesn't seem to be any bad news economically on the horizon, although the production index did drop a little bit, and that's because there was a decline in inventories. So we'll move on to our news and look at the insurance and reinsurance sector and claims. Big news going on in Rome right now. Two parcel bombs have exploded at two embassies, the Swiss embassy and the Chilean embassy. All today, one employee of the Swiss embassy was seriously injured apparently. Both embassies confirmed that a package containing hidden explosive devices detonated when an embassy employee opened them. There was a story that the Ukrainian embassy had isolated another suspicious package. The Rome police arrived. That package was found to be harmless. The Swiss embassy is located in the leafy Rome neighborhood of Parioli, up the hill and up where the U.S. embassy is located. It's a very nice upscale neighborhood, old neighborhood. The bomb explosion comes only 2 days after police discovered a defective explosive device on the Rome subway. That device apparently was too rudimentary to work. But Rome is on red alert right now. All of the embassies in Rome are being checked. California, suffering the effects of those days of rain now, is looking at the prospects of mudslides. Also, there's another big problem, contaminated water and foul beaches. The inundation of rain washed trash, pesticides, and bacteria into waterways, prompting 4 beach closures in Mateo County. Also, 12 miles of beach from Laguna Beach down to San Clemente in Orange County are off limits. The rain eased on Wednesday, but the danger is not over for foothill residents living below wildfire-scarred hillsides. There are no trees up there anymore to keep the earth intact. So as a result now, the ground is so saturated that it can move at any time. More than 200 homes were ordered to be evacuated in the Flint Ridge and La Crescenta suburbs of Los Angeles, below steep hillsides that have been stripped barren by forest fires. Sunshine is in the forecast today. Experts are recommending that 5 days be waited out before people dare to go into the beach in order to ease the contamination. Not far from where we're sitting in Pennsylvania, in Quakerstown, officials are saying that an explosion and fire rocked the suburban Philadelphia factory that makes chemicals for food and pharmaceutical products. There was a blast this morning at the particle-sized technology facility outside Quakertown. Fire officials say the explosion was caused by chemical dust that got into the air and created an explosion hazard. The fire people say that the explosion blew a hole in an exterior wall, but the fire was quickly contained. It's under investigation right now. News from Peoria, Illinois, RLI has announced that it will acquire Contractors Bonding Insurance Company through an acquisition of its holding company, Data and Staff Service. RLI is going to pay $137 million in cash. CBIC is privately held, based in Seattle. It's an insurance company specializing in surety and niche property casualty insurance products. They serve over 30,000 contractors nationwide. They have 13 regional offices. RLI anticipates that the acquisition will be accretive to earnings within the first year of ownership. At closing, the acquired company's shareholder equity is going to be approximately $108 million. The company, CBIC, is rated A as excellent by Best, and it's achieved an underwriting profit in 13 of the last 14 years. The stock market in New York is up about 20 points right now. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news.
Design for peace.
There's an article in today's Insurance Day by Greg Doby talking about the Lloyd's Exchange project to try to get 100% of endorsements over by the end of this year. It's actually pretty interesting. Mr. Doby said that 67% of participants in the London market's ongoing endorsements pilot have said they're only using the process for in-scope marine endorsements to a, quote, limited extent, or substantially less than 80% of the time. The results of an online survey conducted by the London Market Group means that they believe it's now unlikely that they're going to be able to achieve its target of 100% usage of the electronic support process for business within the core pilot class by the end of the year. And in its second interim report on the endorsements project, the LMG said it is clear practitioners' hearts and minds have not yet been won over by the pilot. Insurance broker and underwriter data reviewed by the Endorsement Management Group, which will guide the LMG in making a decision whether to roll the pilot out to other classes, remains broadly unchanged from the first interim survey, which was conducted last month. On average, a little bit more than 50% of all endorsements in pilot classes only are now being transacted electronically, but only 17% of respondents said that they're using the pilot process substantially more than 80% of the time, while 16% said they were using the pilot about 80% of the time. Two other questions in the online survey emphasized that there's still a lot of work to do. 34% of respondents agreed or strongly agreed that the pilot process is currently proving a benefit to their business. 41% neither agreed or disagreed, and 25% that they strongly disagreed with that statement. Meanwhile, only 7% of the respondents said that the pilot process had won over the hearts and minds of brokers and underwriters. However, there were some positives to be taken from the survey. 75% did say that with some modifications to the pilot, its implementation could provide benefits for their business. I'll tell you, what a difficult task that is to try to change practices in the reinsurance industry, especially at Lloyd's. And certainly Sue Langley, who is operating the Lloyd's Exchange, knows that better than anybody, and I have no doubt that with her determination, she's going to stick to the road here, and this will change, albeit slowly, but it will change. News from the U.S., AIG is going to pay $100 million in fines in a settlement with all 50 U.S. states over reporting errors for premiums on workers' comp. The Pennsylvania Insurance Department announced a settlement yesterday on behalf of the other 49 states. In addition to the fines, AIG will pay $46.5 million in taxes and assessments, and they've agreed to a possible $150 million in extra fines if they don't follow a compliance plan. The examination focused on actions between 1975 and 1996, in which authorities say the primary violation was the misreporting of more than $2 billion in workers' comp premiums as general or commercial auto liability premiums. Well, we'll give you a little daily European update on weather. Travel in Britain seems to be okay today, but Dublin is shut down now. Here's a picture of the Dublin airport. They've had very, very heavy snow there. Dublin airport suspended flights. Officials are saying that the airport may reopen later today. Ireland has been hit by unusually heavy snow and freezing temperatures. Heathrow says that both runways are now operational and most flights would operate. The topic of concern now, weather-wise, in Europe seems to be Denmark. They got hit with about 6 inches of snow last night, hampering road, rail, and air traffic. The worst hit part of Denmark was the Danish Baltic Sea island of Bornholm. Police have urged people to stay indoors there. In southern Denmark, the government has mobilized the Danish army, who have appeared on scene in armored personnel carriers to help ambulances and other emergency vehicles make their way through the snow. Well, here's a picture of President Obama stepping off of Air Force One this morning at midnight Hawaii time. He's obviously not concerned with the snow. He's wearing one of those Hawaiian leis there. He's arrived for an 11-day family vacation in his home state. He's heading to a rented oceanfront home in Koala Bay. His wife and 2 daughters and his dog have been there since Saturday. He had to postpone his departure because of working with the lame duck congressional session. The president's looking forward to 11 days outside the glare of the Washington spotlight. Last year, you'll recall, he didn't quite have a quiet time. On Christmas Day, the 23-year-old Nigerian underwear bomber attempted to blow up a jetliner bound for Detroit. That incident consumed the president's time. He received thrice daily briefings from the national security people. Well, Mr. Obama's predecessor had a little bit of an incident last night in his home in Dallas. A neighbor's car crashed onto the lawn of former President George W. Bush's front lawn in North Dallas. The Secret Service, of course, immediately went on high alert. Turns out, though, that last night's incident was simply the case of a stuck gas pedal. The man had permission to drive a classic 1960s muscle car, you can see it here, in the gated street where the former president lives. It's in the Preston Hollow neighborhood. He told the Secret Service that he just lost control of the car. At first, the 8:15 p.m. call was classified as an executive threat by the Secret Service because former President Bush was actually at home. The car crashed into the lawn and damaged flower beds and turf. The house was not damaged. The car, as you saw, was severely damaged. In addition to the Secret Service, Dallas police and canine officers responded to the scene. The driver was not hurt. He was questioned and released by the Secret Service. Now, as I said, I guess we will not see you unless there's any breaking news. We'll see what other incident can occur. But assuming there's no breaking news, we will see you again on Monday, January 3rd. And all of us at CATEX-TV, myself, Frank Fortunato, and our producer, Frank Mazzio, wish you the best and happiest of this holiday season. And we'll see you on January 3rd, 2011. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.